Hello, beginners. Welcome to this channel. This channel is a beginners friendly channel. We're here to tutor new soulmates. If you want to learn how to sew and you're passionate, this is the right channel for you. So let's jump right into it. Before we do that, if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that when we drop new updates, we'll be dropping updates like every day. You'll be able to see what we have posted so you can learn. And trust me, the learning process on this channel is very, very easy. Very, very easy. As we say, beginners friendly. Be sure to iron your pattern paper before you start working on it. Ironing it to make it stay flat so you can work on it. So we're about to make a basic bodice. Yeah, a basic bodice, half length. So making use of the measurements you see. So we've divided our measurements accordingly. The shoulder by half, ignoring the vertical measurements. We have the waist divided by 4, the bust divided by 4. Yes, so we just left the vertical measurements. That's from shoulder to bust point, shoulder to underbust, shoulder to waist. We left them. Then we divided the side to side measurements by 4. So that's about that. Let's jump right into the tutorial. So you may decide to mark a starting point from the beginning of your pattern paper. Vertically, you may decide to ignore. If your pattern paper is straight, you may decide to ignore because we're not putting zipper at the front, so you might leave it. If you're putting zipper at the front, you're going to cut out a certain width for your zipper. So at the topper part where we're going to be having the shoulder, you're going to have a starting point. Yes, always have a starting point where you measure from. So that's our starting line right there. So making use of our measurements, we're going to be marking our points. Yes. So our shoulder we have shoulder 15 divided by 2 will give us 7.5. We'll mark that point, and then we do our vertical measurements. So we're going to be measuring from the shoulder. I also marked the 7.5 marking there. So we measure our shoulder from our shoulder, that's not our starting line rather, to our bust point, which is 11. Then we roll out a straight line. So I'll also go ahead and mark from that starting line to measure my half length, which is the waist. Yeah, this is a basic body, so we're not going to be using our underbust here. All right, so I'm going to mark my half length, and then I'm also going to draw a straight line across that. Don't forget to do your labeling, okay? Do your labeling, it will help you not to make mistakes. Yeah, you know which point you're dragging your marker to or tape to or from. All right, so from our bust point, we're taking 2 inches upwards. That would be what that will serve as our chest line. Okay, then we're also going to draw out a straight line. So drag a straight line from that starting point to your chest line, like you see me do. And then let's determine our round neck. I'm taking 3.5. You can decide to take just 3 inches to make it look tight. I'm taking 3.5 at the width, and I'm taking 3.5 for the length. So I'm going to connect my points together using this French curve. So I'm marking from the point up there, connect with the one down there to give me my neck. So that's a neck curve right there. So we'll go straight into giving our shoulder slope. So mark at 1 inches from the starting line, and then we give a slant from that point to the neck. So we have our shoulder slope at the point. So So at the end of the day, I got about 8 or 7 points, something. That's perfect for my armhole. I'm going to get the middle point of the line and then mark the middle. After marking the middle, I'm going to take half an inch. Yes, from the line, and I'm going to mark. So that's going to form a curve at that point for me. Alright, because that's the front part, and it's usually advisable to do that. Check to make sure the lines are accurate. So I'm using my bust divided by 4 to get the point where I'll connect my armhole to. So my bust measurement divided by 4 gave me that measurement that I used to. So we're going to curve from that point touching the point in the middle. It has given us a curve, then we curve it all the way to our bust point divided by 4. So that's our bust point right there. Sorry, bust measurement. Okay, that's a bust measurement. Bust measurement, round bust measurement divided by 4. That gave us 9.75. That's where our armhole will stop at. That's basically all for that part. So move forward. Having done that, we're going to divide our waist circumference by 4, just as we did at the upper part by dividing our bust circumference by 4. We're going to divide our waist circumference by 4, and then we're going to connect a straight line from our bust area to our waist. So it's looking slanted. So the next thing we're going to do is to add our sewing allowance. I'm using a standard sewing allowance of 1.5. Yes, 1.5 sewing allowance at the sides, and I'm also going to mark a straight line. We're going to give a dart at the waist area, so add that later. So first of all, mark a straight line out first before you get your darts. So for the darts, the bust span is 8 inches, so that divided by 2 will give us 4 inches. So we're going to mark at 4 inches all the way, and then we're going to stop at the bust point. Okay, so mark at half an inch from each side. Divide the 1 inch into 2, give you half on both sides. We connect from the 2 lines and then take it all the way to the point at the top, just like you see me do. So now I have to replace the darts, the measurement I took for the darts at the waist area. So I took 1 inch, I have to place back the 1 inch, and then I'm going to connect straight from the top to the waist area. So because the dart is not getting to the waist, I'm not going to add any allowance there. It's just going to come straight down, slanted down. Okay, so that's about the front bodice. So we're done with this. Oh, but for the back is not going to be as deep as the front. That's the neck. We're going to take just 2 inches for the front neck. And remember, we took 3.5 width, 3.5 depth for the front. When we want to do the back, it's going to be a different thing entirely. And make sure to add half an inch when you're cutting. Add half an inch on the shoulder. Add half an inch on the bottom part when you are cutting, because you're going to join this with you might join it with a lower part. You might want to leave it as a crop top, okay, and you want to turn it in. Use the half an inch to turn it in, or use the half an inch to join to your lower fabric. Is that the lower part of the cloth? If there's going to be a flare, if there's going to be any other half cut below, so that's that. So remember, when you're placing it on your fabric, please add half an inch at the bottom part for turning in or joining, and add half an inch on the shoulder area. Okay, So because we want to use this front part to get our back piece, we're not going to follow that curve. We're going to cut it straight. We'll follow the curve later. Just pay attention while we cut. All right. So now we're going to place our front piece onto our back piece. Okay, okay, okay. But before we do that, we want to take out our zipper allowance. What do you usually zipper allowance at the back? So yeah, for most clothes. All right, so taking 1.5 inch all the way from the top part to the bottom part for zipper allowance. So just watch carefully and see what we are doing. And then we draw a straight line down. So it is on this line we are starting our measurement from. We are excluding the zipper line, and then we are placing the front part from the line to get our measurements. Okay, so everything else will be the same from that point except the neck area. So we're going to use some pins to pin it down, pin it all the way down, okay, so that your paper stays in one place. Alright, so we're trimming off the excess at the lower part to make sure they are the same. So for a beginner, you will learn about the half length at the back and half length at the front later. Okay, but for now, you start with making the measurements the same front and back. So now I want to determine the round neck at the back. So we're going to be taking just 2 inches from that starting line. Now the zipper area, take the same thing there, then take 2 inches. Alright, so we're going to connect it all the way to the top using our French curve. That's the same point where the line on the front part is starting. Make sure you adjust your roller or your curve roller to make it sit well to give you clean line. Okay. All right, my marker is kind of thick, so let's fix that part. Alright, so we're going to be trimming off that part. I'm using the front part to get the back. So yes, so we'll draw the line, same line, our chest line and our bust line. We'll drag it from the front to the back as well. Just copy it like we're copying, okay? So trim off the neck area like you see me do. So, and then you also trim off the excess at the shoulder area as well. Remember, we're going to cut straight at the back, and then this front part is going to be curved. That's for the armpit, but I'll show you how to do that, okay? So for the armpit, you're not giving that curve that we give in the middle. You're going to cut straight on the line, Here you go, and that's done. So after removing the pins, you can now cut out the neck. Yes, the round neck for the front part. Remove off. Please don't make the mistake of cutting this thing while it's placed on the back pattern. Yes. So that mistake can happen to anybody. So make sure you remove it entirely before you cut off. So now we're going to cut off that part, like I said. It doesn't need to be straight at the front. It has to be curved. So we're going to cut that part out, like you see me do. And that is that. So that's the difference between the front and the back. Now, in order for us to determine the back, we are also going to take out darts at the back. So to do that, we need to draw out the lines as well, so to determine our chest line and our bust point. Okay, so that's our chest line right there. Okay, so we're not needing the bust point there. We're just going to form our darts from the chest line all the way down. So we're also going to measure 4 inches like we did, but we're going to be measuring from the zipper line where the zipper line stops. We're going to measure 4 inches. I'm going to take it all the way down to the base of the top. So just like we did at the front part, we're going to divide 1 inch into two to give us half an inch on both sides of the line. And then we're going to use our ruler to connect all the way to the top part. And that's our chest line, okay? So that's our dots at the back, and this is how it's going to look like when you're done sewing, okay? Or it should be when you're done sewing. So that's about it for our back bodice. Remember, reminding you to always add half an inch when you want to place on your fabric and cut, and then at the shoulder parts also add half an inch. Okay, you might want to indicate on your pattern paper just to remind you. All right, so that's that about that. So that's basically how to make a basic bodice. All right, as you see on this mannequin, I'll be dropping a tutorial on how to draft out or cut out your sleeve, a perfect sleeve. If there's anything you want to learn, please put that as a request in the comment section and you'll be attended to. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. Trust me when I say drop any picture of any clothes you want to be tutored on, be it a corset, wedding gown, draping, anything, drop in the comment section and that'll be the next video I'll be designing a pattern on. Okay, so that's it. Bye for now. See you next time. Bye.